What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the channel. So we're doing a full Webull desktop tutorial walkthrough. We're going to go over practically everything inside of the Webull desktop platform right now based on the latest update that we have. Now, we're going to do a mobile app video as well. So if you're watching this relatively soon after it comes out, that may be coming very soon. And if not, that video may be already up on the channel. So definitely check that out under the Webull tutorials playlist. There's a lot to cover here, but we're going to make it as simple and sweet as possible. We'll certainly have more videos on the channel diving through different aspects, how to buy and sell. We have some videos on how to buy and sell stocks, crypto, and other aspects to the Webull platform here on this TC trading channel. So before we dive on in, what you're going to need to do is there'll be a link down below in the pinned comment and description box of this video. If you have not already done so, go over there and sign up to Webull. At that point, you'll be able to download the desktop version if you're on desktop, or you'll download the mobile app. But it's very simple. Just type in Webull desktop download online, and you'll be able to download it directly off the internet, and that will allow you to download that to your computer, PC, Mac. You'll be able to do that just fine. Also, if you do use that link in the description box and a pinned comment, and you deposit $100 with the platform when you sign up, you're going to get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850. So take advantage of that if you would like. You can, of course, always sell those stocks once they hit your account, and it's risk-free after that. So take advantage, and let's dive right on in. So what we are looking at right now is we are looking at, in the top left, what you're going to see is a set of icons. And we're going to have watch lists, we have stocks, we have markets, we have screeners, we have customized, account, and paper trading. And then below that, we have Learning Center, Contact Us, and these settings. We're going to go through all of those here in this video, and we'll have parts broken up here in timestamps. So you can, of course, skip around, go back and forth, or send it to someone who may need some help diving through what some of these different things mean. So really quick, we are looking at my watch list section right now. Now, I have this built out to a bunch of different watch lists. So if you look across at the top, I have a bunch of different watch lists set up across different stocks. So if I click on one of these, I have a bunch of SPACs. I go on this, I have a high watch. I go on to EVs, boom, EVs, Bitcoin stocks. You know, I have it all pretty much done as I've been building out my platform. And it's a platform that I use to trade pretty actively here all the time. So in order to create your own watch list and dive into this, well, this is already pre-built into this. We don't have to add anything to it in terms of the actual watch list section. Now it's up to you to build out the watch list that you want to build out. So here we go. Let's start right here. Up in the top right, there's going to be a little icon in the top right. Click on that icon. That's going to give you the opportunity to now edit your watch list, add a widget, copy watch list, minimize, maximize, do all those different things. So we're going to click on edit watch list. For the most part, that's all you really have to worry about here. Edit watch list, and from there, what we can do is create a new watch list. Boom. And just like that, I can click on test. I can click OK, and now I have a test watch list down at the bottom. Boom. And I can add in stocks to that watch list. It's very, very simple to do. All you have to do is click on add symbol and then type in your symbol. AAPL. I'm going to click on Apple stock, and just like that, Apple is now inside of my watch list. Now, if I want to remove Apple, I want to make sure I have it highlighted, and I click on remove symbol. Just like that, that's how you build out a watch list. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple to the point, not very difficult, but very useful when you build out watch lists on different sectors and different stocks you're watching to really make things very, very simple when you're looking at them. Now, inside of your watch list page, you're going to have a lot of information. You're going to have a quick little symbol of the stock, that ticker symbol right there, the name of the company, a quick little snapshot of the recent price action. Was the stock up or down? Was it red or green on the day? The last trading price, the percentage change, the change in actual physical dollar amount, right? 10 cents, 20 cents, a dollar, how much it was up or down that day, highs and lows, and all that information here already for you. And if you scroll over to the right, you're going to get a lot more detailed information, such as things like market cap, things like PEs, dividends, and things like that. So it's really cool. A lot of information is really in front of you at your fingertips here with the Webull platform. Now, the next section is the stock section. So let's dive on into that. We're going to click on stocks. Now, this is interesting because I have kind of customized this somewhat. Now, I actually have it customized for a different size screen. I'm actually on the laptop right now when we're filming this video, but I have it customized for a larger desktop screen. So we do have onto the right-hand side, we can see that things are kind of cut off to a degree, but that's fine because you can, of course, customize this yourself. Now, this is the stock section. When you open it up yourself, it's going to look potentially a little bit different. You can customize this however you see fit. And then there's an option down below we're going to dive into later. That's a fully customizable layout. What we're going to do actually is we're going to bunch those two together. So while we're looking at the stock section right now, what you could do here is this could be your kind of your trading window, But what I do and I would recommend is you go and use the Customize Layout tab, which is going to be indicated by this little paint tool right here. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Let's dive through a little bit further in terms of what else Webull has to offer, because the stocks and the Customize tab can pretty much be the same thing if you want it to be. The next tab here is Markets, this little planet looking thing, and this is actually really cool. I actually have not edited this myself, so you can go about this however you want to see fit, and you can edit this, and we'll show you how to customize here in just one second. But without touching anything, it's going to give you a pretty big snapshot on just how the markets are doing overall. And what we're looking at right now is it gives you in the top left the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and you can click on these boxes and it's going to highlight those charts, and they're all pretty much perform relatively the same today, kind of down for the morning hours, pushing up, falling back off, and then running up into the close and actually finishing green on the day. On top of that, you're going to get a global index kind of chart. So a global map, and it's going to tell you a bunch of different things about how the different markets across the world have been performing, which is really cool because what you can actually do is wake up in the US in the morning hours and just take a peek at how the markets overseas have done, and how is China doing and things like that, to get a sense if maybe there's a massive red day in China, and that could potentially, those fears and whatever news is potentially driving that could bleed over into what's going on here in the US. And so that's very helpful to do. They even have Forex markets as well if you want to check on that. They have a quick little news tab, which you can of course scroll down on through. And then outside of that, we dive into some stuff that I think is more easily customizable. I'm not going to cover all of this here. I really would recommend you go here and really start diving and testing and looking through what you like. And you can pretty much, it's pretty self-explanatory. But for example, we have top stocks in terms of what are the top gainers here. You can change that to after hours, today, for the past 5 minutes, the past 3 months, whatever time frame you kind of like in terms of looking at your top gainers, top losers, hot stocks, active stocks, what stocks have been trading the most volume. That's what that's going to tell you. And then stocks that hit 52-week highs, near the lows. It's a really good screening tool, which we're going to dive into their actual screener in a second. But a quick little snapshot, that could be a great place to go and just kind of hang out if you're looking for stock ideas, or you just want to get a sense as to what's going on in the world of stocks, right, in the markets right now. They have a quick little earnings calendar, dividends, and a stock split calendar as well. And then the heat map is really cool. I love looking at the heat map because you can tell you kind of what industries are super hot, what's not, and you can get a good sense as to what stocks and what's performing quite well over the past couple of days. And then of course you can change this. So you don't have to just necessarily look at today. You can look at different time frames as well. For example, the past 3 months, for example, the past month, things like that. Then over on the right-hand side, it's going to tell you some of the top performing industries as of late. Now, okay, cool. This is great. How do I customize this? What do I want to do? Well, if we click on each of these kind of individual sections, you can actually see that there are you can actually drag and drop, right, all of these little sections. So number one, you can do that to customize how much room and area you want something to take up on your screen. But outside of that, if you go up into the top corner of some of these different widgets, that's what they're going to be called, you can click on add a widget. So what I can do here inside of this is I'm going to click on add a chart. Now what's going to happen is it's going to add that chart into that widget, right, on this page. So then when I add that widget of the chart, what I can then have is I have options to scroll across inside that little box, and I can pull up different things essentially in the same widget box if I wanted to. So I can do that as well, which is kind of fun to do. And so we'll dive through pretty much all of the different widgets that you can add into your customization when we dive into the customization tab in just 1 second. So hopefully that makes some sense. That's kind of the market page, the customization aspect of that. And now diving a little bit deeper, let's go on to the next section, which is the screener. And then after that, we'll talk about how to customize your own layout. So here it is. Here's where everyone loves to go, because you can start screening for stocks that meet certain criteria, and it's really cool. And so what I always recommend, people who always ask, what stocks do I buy? How do I find, stocks near their lows? And how do I find stocks, that are oversold? Well, here you go. Here's a great way to go about it. So we're looking at a screener right now, and you can create custom screeners and save those screeners here on Webull. So let's dive into that. So for example, I'm going to name my screener right now. Let's name it Test, because why not, right? So I'm going to name it Test just like that, and then we're going to come down to the bottom and save it at the end. But once I name it Test, I can then sort by different filters right here. So I click on Filters. I can sort by a bunch of different things that I want to put into my scan. Now, if I click on one of these things, it's going to then come up on the left-hand side, and it will be part of my scan once I then select the details inside of one of these filters. So again, up to you. Not going to dive through every single one of these options, but they're pretty self-explanatory. And if you don't know what something means, a simple Google search will definitely suit you pretty well when it comes down to this. So we're looking right here. I want to look at sectors. I want to look at volume. And then let's go with a technical indicators. Let's do that. So let's do some of that stuff here. Let's cut that out of the filters. Now we'll dive through. We want to be United States. We want to use exchange. Let's use all exchanges here. But if you wanted to, you can go like to the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange only or something along those lines. Sector. Let's dive into a sector here. Let's look at renewable energy. And you can highlight multiple sectors here as well. Let's look at just renewables here. And I like trading small cap stocks, the penny stocks. That's kind of my specialty. I like to look for those types of plays. So personally, I'm going to move this little market cap down over here and focus here on those penny stock plays. Now, everyone's different in terms of what they want to focus on, but I'm going to focus it in a little bit. And then the volume, I want to move the volume because I want to make sure we have some more stocks to look at. I want to make sure we have, stocks that have a lot of volume here, and I want to make sure we also cut out some of the stocks that have no volume. So let's move that volume up here to about at least 1 million. Let's get 1 million volume right here. In the top end of the range will be the max we can go. So now we've already cut out a bunch of stocks and we have it pretty much narrowed into a couple key stocks here, which is great. So diving down, now we have a couple technical indicators. You can dive through 9 different technical indicators right here. So what I want to do is I want to look for oversold stock. Let's take a look. Can we get some oversold plays? Here we go. We now have 2 oversold stocks, and just like that, I'm going to save this scan as test. Now I have a screener set to test. I can go over to the My Screener section, click on test, and I'm always going to pull up those stocks once I click on that, and I can do it every single day, see if any new stocks pop up on my screener, which is awesome. And then from there, I can dive into the stocks. I can click on the stocks and dive deeper if I would like to, in which I can click on Sunworks, for example, and it's going to pull Sunworks up over on my stocks tab right here, which now we're going to talk about next, how to customize layouts. And then I can look at the stocks. I can pull up the different types of charts. For example, for Sunworks, I can pull this guy up. Let's use a hollow candle. And I can see that Sunworks is coming on down and could be getting ready for an opportunity for a dip buy opportunity. So that's an opportunity right there that you can use the scanner for. And now let's look into customizing our layouts. How do we actually trade this stuff? And how do we build that stuff into our platform and actually start using our platform? Now, there's a video on the channel already going over how to buy and sell stocks on Webull, so definitely check that out once you kind of get a sense as to how to build your customizations, how to build out your platform page, the way that you like it, which we're going to talk about now. And then, of course, you can go further into those questions. So now we go over to the Paint Roller tool, Customize. Boom, here we are, guys. Now, what I have right now is pulled up one of my customized layouts. On the top, what we're going to see is a bunch of my saved layouts. I have a laptop version right here that I use. I can also actually change that to just a chart-only version, which I have 2 of those layouts saved. But here's a laptop layout version that I have, and what we can see is that it has everything that I need in one place, okay? So on the left-hand side, we have a watch list tab, which that's going to give us all the watch lists we have saved, or it'll just give you the recently viewed or your positions and things like that, or you can pull up your screeners and pull the stocks out off your screener. So that's really cool. I have that pulled up. I have a chart. I have some news, some profile of the company on the bottom, which I actually overlaid a bunch of different widgets to get some information if I want some quick info on some of the stocks I'm trading. I have my time in sales. I have my level 2. I have my quote right here. Give me the information, give me the ticker symbol, the company name, and the big price. Obviously, right now we're looking at this. We're in the after hours, so the market actually just closed recently, and the closing price for ATOS was $236, and the after hours it's down 3 cents to $233. So you see the after hours just underneath the big number, which was that close of the day. So we also have our trading widget, which is where everyone's probably going to be focused on in terms of this. So how do we build this out? Let's just do it from scratch here. I'm not going to build the entire thing out, but let's do it from scratch, make a new layout, and show you guys how this goes and how you can build out what you want to build out. Now, we're going to click on new layout, and they're going to actually have some good options for you to choose from already. So if you would like to, what you could do is actually just mess around with some of these different layouts, and they have a bunch already saved for you, some of them in the dark mode, some of them in the light mode, and we can actually talk about how to change from dark to light mode in the settings in just 1 second as well, and that could be a good starting point. Of course, you can customize from there, which we'll show you how to do. So let's start with a blank layout and just go from here. Now, we're going to have a blank layout, and we have the option to now add what they call the widgets, and so that's what we want, okay? We want to add widgets. Now, this is great. There's a lot of widgets here. We can't cover them all in this video. It would probably take too long and be too boring for most of you. So this would be something I recommend just checking out yourself. And if you see a widget there that we didn't talk about, then test it out, see what it says, pull it up, and it might be something that fits your needs or interests you that you want to have on your customized layout. So here we go. First off, for me, I got to get a chart. I need a chart pulled up. I got to get a chart. I essentially am trading blind if I'm looking at something and there's no chart. So I pull up a chart. Click on chart, boom, it's going to pop right on up. And now I can take this chart and I can move it around. I can do what I want with it. I can put it wherever I want. I'm going to put it up in the top left, and I can, of course, extend this chart and customize the size of the chart that I want to customize. Let's keep it at this size for right now. We'll keep it pretty straightforward to the point here. On top of a chart, what we need is we also need a quote. So we got to click on quote so we can actually get the stock that we're going to trade right here pulled up. Let me bring that over to the top, all the way to the side. So we now have the chart and the quote. On top of that, what I like personally is I like to use level 2. So I'm going to go to the order book right here, and I'm going to click on this. And if you have level 2 quotes, which I believe you must pay for on Webull, what you can do is you can get level 2 quotes, which is going to show you beyond just the bid and the ask, which are the first kind of two that we see on the top. It's going to show you deeper than just that. So I'd recommend it. You have to go on the app and actually subscribe to it. I think it's like $2 a month or $1.99 a month, and I think it's certainly worth it. On top of that, I like to use time and sales, which is going to show us the orders, all the orders that are coming through at any given time. So it's really cool to watch throughout the day, watch the price action, watch the time and sales, see how large the orders are, things like that. So let's start there. And from here, I'm going to let you guys kind of take that as you see fit and dive deeper into this. If you want to pull up the option chain, I can pull this up right here. What I would recommend for the option chain, right, is I would recommend overlaying that on, let's say, your chart. So for example, I'm going to put this over into my charting widget and see how it's highlighted right now. If I do that, what's going to do now is it puts the chart inside that widget, right? So now I can now scroll and toggle back and forth between the chart and the option chain. That's how I do it. I think it's best because the option chain is kind of small on the desktop view, so it makes sense to have it as big as possible with one of your larger widgets. It's more visually easy to see and easy to kind of execute through there. So I'd recommend doing something along those lines, and of course you can overlay other widgets into something. If you want to get more widgets kind of packed into your layout, but there's not enough room and you're fine with toggling back and forth if you want to see something, well then that's what I'd recommend. Now we lost our box here, so up in the top right, add widgets, and that's going to pull it right back on up. Of course, from there, we want to go to the trade section. So what I use is I use the classic trade feature. So I'm going to pull this up right here. Now the classic trade feature is great because it's essentially going to give you everything you need. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pretty much just leave it over on the left-hand side for now. Of course, you guys can customize the sizing and where you exactly want to put it for the sake of this video, but I'm going to put it over here on the left-hand side, and what we can see here is buy, sell, limit orders, all your different types of orders. You can have your quantities, and you can actually have preset quantities. When you click on your quantity tab, I have it set to 10, 50, 100, 500. That you can do in settings, which we'll talk about. Limit price, time in force, extended hours, take profit, stop loss. It's really cool. But if you're not logged in, always make sure when you might be logged in, but you have to actually unlock trading. And so that'll be this right here. If you get that, that's going to be your trading passcode. It should be like a 4-digit passcode or a 6-digit passcode, sorry, on your platform that you have to enter before you can actually unlock the ability to trade on your platform and things like that. So I like that. On top of that, you could use something along the lines of like an order entry form like this. I don't like using this one, to be honest. You click on add order and you can enter in, the ticker symbol, buy, quantity, things like that. I don't like that. And if you want to get rid of a widget on your screen, up here in the top right, this little section right here, you can click remove order entry. Boom, it's gone. Okay, that's how you do that. They do have this price ladder, which I think is really cool. It's very similar to Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim's platform, where you can actually, have your quantity of shares right here. You can enter your price right here on the limit side, and then put your sell right here on the ask side. So I think that's really cool to do as well. I personally haven't really used that too much, but it's definitely something that I think is potentially worth your while if you want to kind of customize your layout, similar maybe to like a TD Ameritrade, because that's a very popular trading platform as well. But not to mention, Webull's trading hours are from 4 a.m. Eastern all the way to 8 p.m. Eastern. So there's your perk over TD Ameritrade. Now the downside to Webull would be the customer service. They have a phone number you can call, but you're not going to get the same type of customer service that you'll get with like a TD Ameritrade or an E-Trade or a bigger name broker that's more established. You'll have to be kind of more messaging back and forth, and maybe you get a response in 5-10 minutes. So sometimes that is a big downside for some people, depending upon how active your trading is and things like that. Now, if we keep on scrolling through, we can go to the stock section where here's we can get a lot of information. What I personally do is I use the company profile. I pull this up right here on the bottom of my layout. For example, let me actually move it right here. I pull this up, something like this. And then what I do is I take a bunch of stuff. So for example, news, and I'll actually put this widget inside that other widget right there. So I'll overlay a bunch of this informational kind of widget stuff, and I'll add that into one. And so I can toggle back and forth between all that information all in one space. I think it works best for me. That's what I like to do personally. Then there's a general section, which can pull up screeners, your watch list. If I want to pull up that watch that I had before, I can actually do this, and I can make it very small so all you see is just the ticker symbols and things like that, which is what I personally use myself. On top of that, let's get rid of that. We have things like alerts. We can do system messages. I think most of those things outside the watch list probably aren't worth putting onto your page. Then the market is kind of cool. So we can actually look at a lot of different things here. Here's what I do. Personally, what I do is I have a top gainers and top losers. So it's like my own screener or scanner, as you call it, right? So I'll take this, I'll use this, and I'll put it somewhere on my layout. And then I'll overlay most active stocks. For example, I'll put that inside there as well so I can toggle back and forth, and then maybe the hot stocks as well. So I can get a good sense for a bunch of different things all kind of in one place. And that's kind of how I like to screen for what's going on, what's moving, what's down, what's up, top stocks, biggest gainers, the biggest losers, things like that in the after hours and different time frames. Then what I'll do is I'll also add the index chart. This is really cool. So I'll put this on my layout as well. And what I'll do with the index chart is I will just have that in the bottom of the screen and I'll watch it. When I'm trading, I can say, okay, the S&P's up, the Dow's up, the NASDAQ were all up. So market's pretty green today. That's generally a good thing. Or, okay, a lot of the stocks I'm trading, everything's kind of selling off. Why is that? Okay, the markets are going straight down, and we can get a good visual representation of that while it's happening live. That's why I like to use that. So that's pretty much what I do. And of course, you can use a lot of other features here on the market section as well to add to your layout. But that's pretty much how it goes. And you can, of course, like I said, customize the sizes and things like that. So one last point that's super, super important. So make sure you're paying attention right now. Is if you're, for example, let's get rid of some things to clean things out a little bit. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Now, if I am, let's say, looking at the chart of a stock, okay, and I type in the stock up here, blah, 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 whatever the stock is, I type it in. Let's say I type in Apple, AAPL, okay? Apple's chart pulls up. Cool. What we didn't see is Apple's not pulled up here on the quotes. Apple's not pulled up here on the order book. Apple's not here. Well, you need to make sure all your widgets are attached if you want that. So how do you do that? See this little dash, the set as a group feature right here up in the top right of your widget. Click on that, and then you can actually set it as a group. For example, I want to just make it group 1, and I make the chart group 1, and I can go over here to the quote, and I can make this group 1. I can go over here to the level 2. I can make this group 1. I go to the time and sales. I make this group 1, and most importantly, when I go over here to my trading window, I make sure when I enter my trades, that is set to group 1 as well. So if I type in Apple and I'm looking at the Apple chart, it's going to automatically change all the other widgets that are set as group 1. So for example, if I go back here and I type in Tesla, TSLA, boom, everything just changed. The order entry, we have the Tesla chart, level 2, all that stuff has just changed to now Tesla. So this way, you may be looking at Tesla, you don't have your group set, you could be putting in an order for the wrong stock. So make sure you don't do that and make sure that's all in line. If things get confusing, that could be an error. Awesome, so now we're gonna go over to the account page right here. So let's pull up the account page. Now on this page, you can customize this a little bit as well, but I currently have a bunch of things that I am looking at, that I am in, stocks like that, and it's actually really cool. So over on the left-hand side, you're gonna get your account details. You can see your net account value, total market value, cash, balance, buying power, things like that, all visually represented over on the left-hand side. On top of that, you have your net account value. You can see your account growth or decline over time. Obviously, if you want to look at your cumulative P&L, and you can customize all these time frames to kind of narrow in on when your P&L was this and this and this. And if you're curious about 193% P&L over the past year, then definitely head over and subscribe to my personal channel. There's a link down below in the description box to Thomas Carl. That's my personal channel. And over there, we pretty much talk every single day. Stocks, I always go over a lot of the positions that I am holding on the weekends and things like that. So you guys can get an update of at least of where my head's at when I'm looking at stuff. I don't do any of those pay for alerts and stuff like that, guys. It's all free here. I want to make sure that the learning curve is hard enough, right? That's why we make these tutorial style videos. I like doing it. I know it's very helpful to some people. So that said, plugging myself aside, right? Who cares, right? At the end of the day. And then you can actually dive into this. So for example, what I can do right here is I can actually scroll down. It's different on different layouts. You can of course customize the sizing of all these different things like we did before. What you can do is go to your stock panel, which is actually really cool. So if I can type in a stock, for example, let's say I type in like SNDL, Sundial Growers. I actually did pretty well on this stock. I made over $2,000 on this stock. But what I can do over on the right-hand side, it's going to give me all my information. So I can actually go back in the past year, my P&L on SNDL. I can go to like the max overall, and it'll tell me when I was green, red on the stock, and over my profit and loss over time. And then I can click on my trading records, which is really cool to go back and actually say, okay, I bought this much SNDL on this day at this price. It's really cool. And you can go back and check on all that stuff, and it's really cool to see. So I like the ability to go back and do this stuff. It makes it really useful, especially if you're someone who likes to log your trades and like, yeah, I traded this stock, I forget what happened. Well, it can be very helpful because the timestamps are all attached to your orders. You can go right back to the chart and say, oh yeah, I bought it at this time. Here's what I did. That's my mistake, or that's what I did right. And it's super helpful to learn from. On top of that, under your positions and orders, you can actually close out positions right here. So I can go into my positions right now and I can click on close this and manage that position if I would like to on a given stock, which is actually kind of fun to do, or it could be a way that you like to go about it. So it's essentially kind of how the app looks. If you're looking on the app and you're looking at all the stocks, you're on your home page, you'll click into one of those stocks and manage your position from there. And so it's pretty much the same exact thing, and you'll be able to do anything you need to do from that point. Now let's dive into the next section here, which is paper trading. So this is the same thing in terms of creating a layout. We actually can dive into, I would probably recommend just using one of their custom layouts here, unless you want to go back and essentially recreate your own layout, your own personalized layout from the previous section of the video. So if I want to do that, I can come in here and I can already use a pre-customized layout. They already have one that pretty much fits the screen pretty well. Understand when you're looking at paper trading, the PM stands for paper money. If you're buying or doing something along those lines, make sure you're using the PM. Now, when it comes to your order entry, you have to enter your orders a little bit differently, which is kind of a pain, but you can go to add order right here. And now I can click on this and I can go in and set my order and execute that order as I see fit here through the paper trading widget or the order entry widget. You don't get access to all the same widgets, at least as of right now, in the paper trading section of your Webull account, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is right now. I think it's a great way if you're looking to get into like swing trading and things like that to just start practicing by swing trading stocks and things like that so that you can get a good sense using fake money. It's paper money. It's not real money. It's not like you're actually putting money in, and diving along that way. I think it's very, very helpful to do. On top of that, if I wanted to go over here to add a widget inside my paper trading section, I click on the widget that says account detail. Here's where I can actually pull up my account balance. And I can reset this balance. If I click on reset right here, I can reset my initial balance. Let's say I want to set it to, let's say, I don't know, $100,000. I can set my initial balance to $100,000, click on reset, and boom, just like that, I now have $100,000 in my account, and I can reset my paper account challenge, trade this for a week, trade this for a month, and see how you do. And then once you're ready to go over to real money, you can go back to your account and use your real money. Next section is the Learning Center. Down here on the left-hand side, we click on the Learning Center. They're going to have a lot of awesome information in terms of videos and features and tutorial style stuff, kind of like this video over here. So if you have some questions, it could be a great place to go. And you can, of course, toggle through and dive into a lot of the questions that you may have. And they take a lot of frequently asked questions and pretty much put them all onto this page. So it's really helpful to come here. So if you have any questions, check that out first or leave them in the comment section down below. Happy to get back to you guys. Here's the contact us page right here. So if I want to contact people, I have a problem, I can type that in, blah, 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 and I will then click on submit. They'll automatically be it'll go under the history tab right here, and they'll come back to you as soon as possible. So you should get a notification on your phone if you have notifications turned on, or you'll have to come back and check on your history to make sure that they've responded to you, or check back and see their response over there. Pretty straightforward. That's kind of how it goes about. You can look up a number. There's a number, I believe, online. You can look up the Webull actual telephone number to get access to that if you would like to as well. Again, there are probably going to be some delays in terms of, or some wait times on that as well. Now into the settings section. So here we go. We're on settings. I can go to the general settings, and pretty much what I can do here is customize my theme. So I can go from a white layout to a dark layout, which I like to use a dark layout personally. Hopefully it shows up well on the screen and things like that, but I think it's too bright, so I like using a dark theme. That's just my personal preference. Language, time zones, you can make the colors go kind of reverse. So green is up, right, and red is down, but I can change that to different colors. I can change some settings right there. I can go and check on the latest update to make sure that my platform, my stuff is up to date. There's an option for hotkeys. I actually, over on the other channel, I made a video going over how to customize and how to use Webull hotkeys. So if you type in Webull hotkeys, my video should show up, I believe, in the YouTube search. If not, type in Webull hotkeys Thomas Carbo, and I should show up. We dive into a lot of this stuff. They're really cool. So what you can do here is you can actually set up keys on your keyboard where things will automatically happen if you click on certain keys. So automatically put in a trade, automatically change, your chart, your settings, and things like that, which is kind of cool. So I like it. You can go now here for the trade settings. So in your default trading window, I was mentioning before how I can have frequently used quantities. So I currently have it set up for 10, 50, 100, 500. I'm going to actually add some more. So I'm going to go in and make 1,000 here, and then I'm going to go add like a 5,000. And so, for example, if my own trading, not 55, I can have this pull up when I click on the quantity section. I can quickly click on a quantity. These are all preset. I don't have to type anything in. They're already preset for me, so that's awesome. I love having that opportunity. Or you can actually have percentages if you would like to as well. So that's definitely an option if you would like. And at the bottom, if you don't want them to actually give you an order confirmation every time you put an order in, you can actually cut that off and take those off your order preferences at the bottom of that trade section. So that's that. Notifications, we have order filled. We can have different sounds when something happens, which I actually should probably mess around with. I think that's kind of fun. I can have different sounds for alerts and things like that, so that's kind of cool. When you're using your platform and your volume's turned up, if your order fills, you'll usually hear a little notification pop up on your screen. Then you can go to accounts and security, and that's pretty much straightforward in terms of diving into your information and diving through some of the security features that Webull has to offer. So there you guys have it. That is pretty much that. Now, in terms of the top, what we have right here is a promotion center, so there's some information that you can pull up right there. They'll have this right here. We have minimize. I can minimize things if I would like to. I can add widgets on my layouts, notifications, and then alerts. If you have alerts, which you could set up on a stock, for example, if you like right-click or control-click on your chart, you can set up a price point alert, which is kind of cool. And then there's messages here for system messages and things like that. So I think it's kind of cool. I hopefully this was a very helpful video for you guys. I have videos already on the channel going over how to buy and sell stocks on Webull, so check that video out. Also a crypto aspect, because you can trade crypto on Webull as well. So if you're interested in those things, check out those videos on the channel. Leave your comments down below if you have any questions, things like that. This video was helpful. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. I appreciate you for tuning in. Subscribe here for more tutorial style videos. We're not going to spam you with stuff. It's tutorial based stuff. So when it comes to trading, when it comes to platforms and things like that, we hopefully will try to build out this channel to have a lot of resources here for free. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to grab those 2 free stocks with the Webull sign up link down below if you have not done so already. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.